Game Day 1, the show, is brought to you by Veolia, the launch partner of Game Day 1, as well as White Plains Hospital. The Section 1 baseball tournament has arrived. Welcome to Game Day 1, the show. Kevin Devaney Jr. here. To break it all down, we go to our Class B and C show. The brackets are out, as we said. You can find them on Game Day 1. You can find them on loha.com. You can also find this guy on loha.com, and that is Eugene Rapay, who joins us right now. Eugene, we've gone through the top three classes in our show so far. We had a hard time picking champions. I don't think Class B is going to be any easier.
No, very top heavy. A lot of different contenders in this class, and it might be small school baseball, but they pack a big punch whenever they take the diamond, so it'll definitely be fun to watch.
A lot of fun. Rye Neck earns the number one seed. They go 17-3 in the regular season. They were a team that won a lot of close games, a lot of dramatic games. You think right now are they the team to beat? Are they the deserving number one seed here in Class B?
I would say that they're definitely deserving. I think if you go through the schedule that they had in the terms of, like you mentioned, a lot of close games, they enter with a 13-game winning streak, which has been well earned. Over half of those wins were decided by one run or less, or it took place or was finished in the sixth inning or later. So to have that kind of resolve or just not be phased in tough moments, that's definitely deserving of a one seed and will be great experience for them moving forward.
Yeah, definitely. I love teams that are tested, even no matter what competition is. If you can win close baseball games consistently like that, there also is a little bit of that's a little scary because it's hard to keep doing it, and they've got to do it. They have a bye in the opening round, so they got to win three more like that. And who's their top contender? I did say are they the top contender? I think we know who the the favorite is going into this bracket.
Yeah, Albertus Magnus definitely has to be in that conversation as a favorite. Just looking at their roster, they bring back a lot of different returners and key players from last season's historic run, which included a section title and also their first ever state Final Four appearance. Between St. Joseph's committed ace Pat Ventimilla, the most valuable player of last year's section finals, he continues to just deal on the mound. And then they also have another D1 commit in Logan Scholl. Other guys who are just quality contributors and just high-quality leaders on that team, like Connor Benvenuto and senior Joe Dwyer. They're just two fixtures that they can lean on, but also the young talent. I mean, Derek Sullivan, a sophomore, he started on last year's team as a shortstop. He's continuing to play well. Tyler Wine has come in as a freshman and leads the team in almost every offensive category. So they got weapons everywhere on that lineup, and I think that that's definitely a scary team to watch for.
Tyler Wine, 571 batting average, 3 home runs, 29 RBIs. We said a freshman catcher, no less. So obviously they're putting a lot on his shoulders, and he's able to handle it. Who's your sleeper? Who's a team you're looking at as maybe the kind of the bracket buster here?
I would say Pleasantville is definitely a sleeper here. Just looking at the transformation that they've had from going 7-13 last season to where they are right now at 14-6. They played Rye Neck tough in 2 league meetings. They've played a couple of other close games, but just the way that they've been able to take a big step forward has definitely turned some heads all around Class B. Charlie Bateman, John Pricer, and Jason Freeberg are great senior leaders, but also junior standout Dermot McSpedden has been awesome. And they've also had some young contributors as well, like Declan Bruder and Jack Van Sice and Reed Sopranowitz. So this team, they have a great blend of youth and experience, and that's something that you like to see, just seeing their growth over these last couple of years.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of Croton. I think Croton's balance and the depth of their lineup is so good. They have 9 players with 10 RBI or more, which in a 20-game regular season in a lineup like that, it says a lot. Sam Levine leads the team with 21 RBI. Max Friedman batting .438 has a .571 on base percentage, so they get on base. I think for Croton, it's going to be all about if they get enough pitching. Really, it's the road to a championship as the number 3 seed obviously means they're going to have to go through Albertus Magnus in the semifinals if they advance, but they do have a bye. So they're going to face the winner of Bronxville-Blindbrook. Bronxville's another team that's kind of sneaky good, can kind of pitch with anybody, and on a given day, they're going to have to get through Blindbrook to get there. Let's talk about that Blindbrook team first, because that's a really difficult matchup for Bronxville, because you have to imagine Blindbrook's going to go out there and throw their ace.
Yeah, Andrew Rogovich, when he takes the mound, it's a completely different game, and I know that it's been a rough season for Blindbrook, but when he's out in there, it's a rough time for their opponents, and he hasn't pitched too much this season. He's been dealing with a very, very bad blister on his hand, but he's been starting to make some appearances recently, and there's no way he's going to sit it out the playoffs as a senior. He'll take the mound, and it'll be very, very interesting how much he changes the dynamics of the entire Class B bracket.
Yeah, the blister obviously has been something to monitor. He's been throwing in the 90s, though. He's throwing in the mid-90s, which in Class B baseball is dangerous. And do they have a legitimate chance to win with him pitching one, and if they can get him to a second game?
Yeah, that's kind of been the $1 million question for Blindbrook. It seems like when he isn't on the mound, they've been losing and they haven't been able to get it together. Last year they had a much deeper team, it seemed. Just from Rogovich, they had a couple of different pitchers and a lot of different senior hitters that they could turn to. This year, a bit younger, but you can never say never in the baseball playoffs, especially with no double elimination. Like, if they can get Rogovich a second start, anything goes.
I said Blindbrook was going to face Bronxville. They're going to face Dobbs Ferry in the opening round. I misspoke there. So, but regardless, I think Rogovich is going to have to pitch that first game no matter what to beat Dobbs Ferry, and then take their chances if they face Croton-Harmon. Croton-Harmon's hoping he pitches in the first game, so he doesn't have to pitch against them in the next round. Let's talk about Class C briefly, because only 4 teams in the bracket. So this is interesting. What happened here in the final week of the regular season? So it was a 5-team bracket. It was 5 teams in the class. So North Salem, which was the 5th of the 5 teams, at 2-17-1, was not going to qualify for the postseason. Alexander Hamilton was going to be the number 3 seed. They decide in the final week they're going to pull out. So now it makes a 5-team class into a 4-team class, which in Section 1 I don't even know if I want to say in rules, because I think it's a little bit of an unspoken rule. They always want to have at least 4 teams in the bracket whenever possible. So here comes North Salem as the number 4th team, even though they didn't qualify for the section playoffs. They go to Tuckahoe now in the opening round. What sort of nerves do you think you have as if you're Tuckahoe? You had this, you have a very good season. You're the number 1 seed. You're the favorite, defending champions. But do you fear the 2-17-1 team?
You look at North Salem, and they're a team with just such a great tradition and great baseball history that you can't do. How can you not do a double take if you're Tuckahoe, despite their record? I think Tuckahoe should take care of business, but just a team or a program like North Salem that has just such great tradition, and they haven't been in the playoffs the last couple of years, they're going to definitely capitalize and make the most out of the shot. They're too proud of a program not to, but Tuckahoe should definitely expect their best shot for sure.
It is. I think if anything, it's scary. I think it's got to be a little scary because, as you said, a proud program. They won back-to-back state championships, 2016, 2017. Rob Gilchrist is a very accomplished coach. They're a team that's going to go out there confident. And when you look down the row, not that you can make 2 and you could squint your eyes and make 2-17-1 look good, but they do have some kind of respectable showing, and they are a Class C school playing mostly B and A competition. So I would be very nervous. I think the winner of that game, and I'm not going to say it's definitely Tuckahoe, is going to win this section championship. LaFell and Haldane on the other side. So I think safe to say if Tuckahoe can survive North Salem, they should win. North Salem wins, all bets are off. I mean, they might win the state championship because that sort of happens every once in a while in baseball. Some team you never expect to win goes and wins. Who do you like to win in Class B first?
Class B, I would have to go with the defending champs, Albertus Magnus. There's just a ton of depth and a ton of hitting and balance all across that lineup. And just after getting a taste of last year's title and just making it to the state Final Four, they have a mission to make it back. And I don't think they're going to be denied this year.
I would say the same. I like Albertus Magnus as well. And I'm going to say Tuckahoe survives North Salem. Who do you like to win in Class C?
I will also roll with you on that and just go with the Tigers of Tuckahoe, because North Salem's also the Tigers.
Yes,
but I think Tuckahoe should get the job done. Just from what they brought back from last year, they should definitely hold on there.
All right. Well, thanks so much, Eugene. Tell me where we can find you this week. What do you got coming out from previews? Not just baseball. What other previews you got going on this week?
Chugging out previews for softball and baseball, and packages kind of going the same way between pitchers you don't want to face in baseball and softball postseason, to also some teams to watch in each class for also baseball and softball. And maybe I'll make an appearance for the team tennis section final. So a lot of different things coming up this week.
I will say one thing that I loved, and maybe love you even more, was a couple years ago I hosted this Section 1 softball dinner, and when I introduced you, it was by far the loudest applause. The girls loved you covering softball a couple years ago. So you definitely won them over, so I'm sure they're going to be thrilled to see you doing the preview. So Eugene, thanks so much for joining us. We love you here at Game Day 1 also.
Oh, thank you, Kevin. I mean, I've been a long time following your work, as you know. So it was a blast doing this with you.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Eugene. Enjoy the postseason, and we'll see you at Purchase in a few weeks or a week and a half. So we'll have fun.